Sexy hobby people, welcome to today's video, which is Dungeons & Dragons Adventurer issue 14. We get some more standees with this. Not the most exciting stuff. Come on, Wizards of the Coast, we know that you can produce miniatures. It would have been nice. But it looks like we get our halfling bard or dwarf bard and the barbarian. So we'll come on to that. Right, beware cursed items. Create your character backstory and planes of existence. Right, cursed items. Environment, using items and objects, learning how to make use of items both in and out of combat can give you the edge in Dungeons & Dragons. Okay, so interactions out of combat. Characters don't need to use actions when not in combat. The player simply tells the DM what their character wants to do, such as pulling a lever, and the DM describes what, if anything, happens afterwards. When a character pulls the lever, the DM says the gate raises. Or maybe grates open, flooding the room with water. Or even, and the wall slides into the ground, revealing a secret passage. If the lever is rusted in position, the player could say, shoot. Well, let's force it. The DM thinks for a moment, sets a DC in their head, then nods and says, make a strength check. If the player's D20 roll plus their character's strength modifier beats the DC set by the DM, they succeed and the lever moves. You might decide that this takes a long time, like a minute or an hour. The check happens after the time is spent, and if it fails, that time is wasted. In a time-sensitive scenario, this can be a serious penalty and might make the difference between escaping, pursuing, and having to fight monsters. Okay, breaking an item. Items in combat. Our DM keeps threatening that if we roll natural ones, or just roll a 1, in combat, she might turn around and say that our weapon is damaged, or stuff like that. So our barbarian has managed to make themselves a dragon-toothed sword. I have the Vorpal sword, and there are some other magical items that some of our other characters have collected. And obviously the threat of your item could be damaged is quite sobering, to say the least. Right, challenge rating, single encounters. A monster's challenge rating helps to build battles that aren't too easy or too unbeatable. CR and XP. In Dungeons & Dragons Adventurer, you level up when you have reached certain story milestones, but in many campaigns you level up when you have accrued enough experience points. In these campaigns, a monster's CR determines how much XP it grants. Those who defeat it, for example, a CR1 monster grants 200 XP, divided evenly among all members of the party that defeated it. In these campaigns, a monster's XP value will be noted alongside its CR in its stat block. Okay. So assess the characters and then choose the encounter. So 4th level, we've just leveled up to 4th level. We've got 5 characters, and so this recommends a CR of 5. So what does CR stand for? Challenge rating. CR stands for challenge rating. Cursed items. If a magic item looks too good to be true, it might just have a secret and deadly drawback. Your party has defeated a ghastly mummy lord and you stand triumphantly over her vault. Do you dare take up the blade she wielded, wear the crown she wore, or sit on her imposing throne? As she perished, the mummy lord spat curses. Could these curses live on in her worldly possession? The answer, of course, is yes. Just as spells have the power to inflict curses, such magic can be infused into untold objects from the grand to the mundane, from decorated battle axes to unassuming stones. Right, so don't pick anything up unless someone in your party can definitely turn around and say, no, it's not cursed. Cursed items in Faerun, and devise your own. Yeah, we keep coming across these crystals, purple crystals. We got caught out early in the campaign when 4 of the crystals came together and produced a metallic slime or something. So every time we come across one now, we just leave it where it is. Yeah, we're not touching those anymore. Okay, downtime activities. Your adventure can continue in between encounters if you choose to work on an activity, whether it's making armor or running a business. Okay. So, things that you could do: building a stronghold, carousing, crafting, gaining renown, performing sacred rites, recuperating, researching, running a business, selling magic items, sowing rumours, training. Wow, training. The go-to activity for anyone keen to learn a new language or tool proficiency. Assuming that they can find an instructor and have the time, 250 days per proficiency and money to pay them, usually 1 gold piece per day. Wow, okay. Fleshing out a character's past is a great way for a player to bring them to life in the present, creating a backstory. No one decides to go adventuring without a reason. Your D&D character's motivations for first learning a new spell, picking up a sword, or strumming a magical tune is very likely to be connected to their past. Tapping into this backstory can help to flesh out their personality, their motivations, and their goals. The place the character was born, the job they had before becoming an adventurer, their social status, and their family relationships all add details that can inform the story of a single session or even an entire adventure. Yeah, we've been asked, our DM has asked us to flesh out our backstories a bit more. So mine's a female fighter, soldier, scout. And I do have a brief outline for a backstory. I need to flesh it out. Right, think about these 6 elements when writing your backstory. There's no pressure to be a great novelist. If all you want to write for each is a single sentence, that's still a strong starting point. Family, social status, training, character background, personality traits, ideals, bonds and flaws, and fateful moments. Soldier, character creation, a perfect background for characters who have trained as soldiers of a nation or as private mercenaries. If you want to create a character with a distinct military flavour, then the soldier background is the obvious way to go. Mine doesn't have massive plate armour though. Role-playing a soldier. The key thing to decide with a soldier character is what form of military service they took and how that has shaped them. They could be a drill sergeant, which has made them rigid and a disciplinarian, or they could be a cynical and battle-weary veteran, despairing of the young bucks in the party who seem so keen to charge into the fray. They might harbour a bitter prejudice against a particular nation or foe, or embrace a live and let live philosophy. Soldier benefits. This background provides proficiency in the athletics and intimidation skills, giving your hero some useful heft in both physical and social encounters. You'll also gain tool proficiency in a gaming set and land vehicles, making you a useful person to have at the reins of a wagon. Finally, you will enjoy the military rank feature, which you can use in interactions with other soldiers who may even be from the same organisation as you and recognise you as an authority figure. This also gains you access to friendly fortresses and encampments. Just remember to keep your insignia of rank handy. Planes of existence. Okay. Elysium, the Beastlands, Arborea, Isgard, Limbo, Pandemonium, the Abyss, Carcery, Hades, Genna, the Nine Hells, Acheron, Mechanus, Arcadia, Mount Celestia, and Bitopia. Those are going round what those are on that dial. Beyond the world your character knows are untold fantastic locations, realms of pure thought and raw energy, home to gods and unspeakable alien beings. See, I'm enjoying this because I'm finding more than I would perhaps have read by just going through the player handbook. The worlds of the multiverse, inner planes, transitive planes, and outer planes and beyond. So, spirits. Here we present a field guide to Faerun's meanest spirits, and no, not the ones you'll find on the top shelf at the pub. The undead take many horrible forms in the Forgotten Realms, but perhaps the most disquieting are those restless spirits that remain as incorporeal entities, often twisted by hatred, woe, and malevolent intent. Ghosts are the most commonly known kind of spirit an adventurer may encounter, but there are even more deadlier phantoms out there. So we've got Banshee. A Banshee cannot abide her own reflection, so a mirror can be used to gain advantage over her. Excuse the rustling. Oh, I thought. Oh, it's down there. Dum-de-dum. Right, let's have a look in the file, because was not the Forgotten Vault, the Tower of Iron Will. So, medium undead. So this is the third encounter in the tower. I'm just... So it just says spirit rather than banshee. And yeah, because it's a similar picture, I was just wondering if it was the same thing from the number 3 encounter. So a ghost, a shadow, a spectre and a wraith. So those are our 5 undead apparitions, spirits. And then we've got Haunted Tomb of the Dragon Slayer, Part 1. So 3 to 4 hours for this 2-part encounter. Encounter overview. Llewellyn Aldastin was a great hero of the ancient elven kingdom of Lilian Bruin, famous for defeating the orc warlord Usgur Elfslayer in single combat and slaying Smogbane the Great Green Dragon when he threatened the King's Summer Palace. Llewellyn was accompanied on his adventure by his lieutenant Coravine and his 4 trusty followers. Despite being as brave and accomplished as Llewellyn, Coravine found her role in the knight's victories was constantly overlooked. The last straw was when Llewellyn was given the honorific Dragon Slayer for delivering the final blow to Smogbane after Coravine had mortally wounded the dragon. Bitterly jealous, Coravine tricked Llewellyn into an orc ambush, intending to take him down a peg or two by forcing him into a humiliating retreat. Instead, the knight and his companions stood their ground and were slain. Buried in a hero's tomb, Llewellyn and his followers became undead spirits, denied their eternal rest until the true story is brought to light. Cursed by the gods for her spiteful betrayal, Coravine became consumed by self-loathing and guilt for what she had done. She died a few months later and was interned in Llewellyn's tomb, where she transformed into a hideous banshee. The haunted tomb lay forgotten for centuries until a few weeks ago, when a reckless cultist of Orcus, demon prince of the undead, broke in and disturbed Coravine's restless spirit. If the characters follow the treasure map they obtained in Encounter 12 to the tomb of the elven hero, they can learn the tragic story of Llewellyn's betrayal and lay the ghosts of the past to rest. So we have another tomb. We have 6 burial chambers to this, and it looks like, I'm going to say this is an extra tomb, so I'm going to guess that this is Coravine. Let's have a look. T4 to T6, so T4, T5, T6. It says the Crypts of the Companions. T2, Elder Tree. Okay. Tomb entrance, Elder Tree, Central Chamber, T3. Right. T7, Disturbed Crypt. That's that one. And that's your lot. There's no more info on that. Okay, we've got a stat block for a Ruggle Smothering and a Restless Spirit, medium undead, elf neutral. So that's your adventure, your encounter for this issue. Come down, let's have a look at these. Let's have a look at these standees. Right, so we get the usual. So these perspex that they're printed on will have yeah, there it is. will have obviously protective covering on both sides. So here's your Displacer Beast. Done. And then you have two bases the same, and then a smaller base which is going to be for your bard character. I do definitely think that, you know, Wizards of the Coast or Hasbro or WizKids or whoever it is that owns the IP for these missed a trick in not producing a set of minis, physical 3D minis for these. That's better. It's a shame. It looks like we've got a, I don't know if this is a ghoul or a ghast here. Oh, forgotten to that's that one. Come on, all stick together. That's it. Right, and then let's do this. Okay. Ta-da. Right, so let's have a look. Here is our bard. Looks okay. Is it a bard? Let me just check. She said. Yeah, Erkin Tripletoll is the name for that character, and she is a forest gnome bard. And our barbarian character again is Karkroth Hiverax. So here is our barbarian. So he's got his axe and he's got his bow staff or bow or whatever it is he's got. What's he carrying? Great axe, javelin, bedroll. Okay, so it's a javelin. I'll tell you something I've noticed on this sheet that I haven't noticed on the others, actually. And that is, so we've got these character sheets that we've had previously, and we have a QR code on the barbarian. We have a Displacer Beast, so that's nice. Again though, it would have been nice to have a 3D miniature, you know, and you know, Wizards of the Coast or WizKids or whatever it is they're calling themselves, you know, I do feel that they could quite easily have done that. And yeah, there you go. That's either a ghoul or a ghast or something. So let's just swap that round the right way, like so. So there's your 4 standees. I'm not going to keep that. To be quite honest, they are just going to go into a container for use if I ever need them. I'm probably never going to use them because they're not 3D minis. But yeah, they will go to join those. So yeah, all good. At least it's something that you can use to put down onto the tabletop. So I suppose it's better than a poke in the eye with a sharp stick. Anyway, that was this issue, issue 14. Hope you enjoyed that, and hope you come back for the next video. All right, take care. Bye-bye.